Do you know when some people just love to test your boundaries? Like, is respect an optional thing for them to have? Interrupting, making passive-aggressive remarks, acting like your time and feelings don't matter. Should you just grin and let it all slide? Not today. If you're tired of putting up with those who lack respect for you, this video is for you. Today, I'll be sharing a few real and perhaps bold solutions to deal with people who are disrespecting you without losing your cool and without sacrificing your self-respect. So get ready, because by the end of this video, you'll be fully armed with all the tools you need to set clear boundaries around yourself and show everyone exactly where the line is drawn. Let's go. Solution number 1. Own the silent stare. Have you tried the power of a silent stare? Sounds far too easy, but this is literally one of my all-time favorite techniques. When someone starts acting rude or disrespectful, nothing rattles them more than a calm, steady, silent gaze. Those who try to provoke other people usually are looking for a reaction. They want you to stammer, to fluster, or try and fight back so they can draw you into their drama. But simply looking at them quietly, expressionless, shifts the power dynamic completely. But you might be wondering, that's just a look. Let me tell you about a time that this worked like a charm. So I was at a family gathering where one of my relatives decided to criticize everything, including the food, the decor, the stories that everyone was telling. So when he finally made a rude comment about me, instead of arguing with him or reacting, I simply looked at him, silent and expressionless. He started to fumble, became uncomfortable, and then stopped. From that point on until the end of the event, he didn't bother a soul. That silent stare was more effective than any words could have been. Not only did it instantly halt his behavior, but it actually made him treat me with more respect after the fact, as if he finally understood that I wasn't someone who he can just dismiss. Sometimes the best way to protect yourself is to say absolutely nothing at all. When you meet someone's gaze with that steady, silent look, you're delivering a clear message without saying a word. I'm not playing your game. You're not running me into your fight, but asserting your right to your own peace and privacy. When someone disrespects us, the natural reaction is to defend ourselves, explain ourselves, or worse, let it slide to avoid making a scene. But the silent gaze isn't about being aggressive. It's about showing them that you won't be dragged into their negativity. People who disrespect others often do it thoughtlessly, because they're never challenged, until you look at them with that steady, silent gaze. You're a mirror reflecting back their actions. The magic of the silent stare is not just in stopping their behavior, it also strengthens your own self-respect. Standing there, still and composed, reminds you that their words or actions cannot shake you. I used to be the type of person to laugh off rude comments or try to explain myself when questioned, but it honestly just drained my energy. Learning to simply look at someone and let the silence fill that space without budging. Game changer. It feels like a small act of defiance. It's a quiet yet powerful statement of self-respect. So if someone is rude, crosses a line, or celebrates trying to make you feel lesser, try the silent stare. Just look at them. Let them feel the weight of your calm. You'll be amazed at how unsettled that makes them and how empowered it makes you. The silent stare says, I respect myself too much to be dragged into your negativity, and that's a message well worth sending. Solution number 2. Embrace silence as your answer. Did you ever realize that silence can be an unbelievably powerful weapon? Sometimes the strongest response to someone disrespecting you is no response at all. I know you might think that silence sounds passive, like you're letting them get away with it. But the truth is, silence is anything but weak. It's a choice, and a powerful one. When you choose not to engage in someone else's negativity, you force them to sit alone with their own actions, and that silence speaks volumes. People who disrespect others tend to expect a reaction. They want an argument, a defense, or they want some hint of confusion to validate themselves. But silence says, "I'm not going to give you my energy." By not reacting, you retain control. That means they don't get to dictate the conversation. By showing them, "I'm not interested in entertaining your disrespect." Sometimes, the most impactful communication is not on communication at all. It's a subtle reminder that they're not worth your time or your words. I remember having a friend who couldn't resist making small jokes that crossed the line, the kind where they mask their insults as humor, thinking it's harmless fun. One day, he made an unnecessary comment about my personal life, something clearly meant to rile me up. I normally would have tried to explain myself or maybe even fire back, but this time, I just looked at him. I raised my eyebrows and said nothing. I let his words hang in the air and forced him to sit with the awkward silence. He didn't know what to do, glanced away, mumbled something, and quickly changed the subject. After that, he stopped pulling me into that nonsense altogether, as if he had realized I wasn't someone he could easily throw off balance. That silent look did more than words ever could. It shut down his behavior and showed him that I wasn't just going to play along. Choosing silence when faced with disrespect strips that negativity of the attention it craves. Here's the deeper message. When you choose silence, you're choosing yourself. You're saying, "I value my peace more than I value your opinion of me." And that's not just empowering, it's transformative. We often feel pressured to explain, to defend our choices to those who frankly do not respect us. But by staying silent, you resist playing by their rules. You're holding your ground without lifting a finger. You're showing them they're not worth your words. It's not just about controlling the situation, but reclaiming your energy. Silence becomes a filter, keeping your peace intact while blocking out the negativity they try to throw your way. The moment you stop feeling the need to respond to every rude comment, every passive-aggressive criticism, you break free. You stop letting people access your inner world, and you start living life on your own terms. I'll be honest, learning to embrace silence wasn't easy for me. I used to feel that if I didn't stand up for myself, I looked weak or passive. But I started noticing something interesting. Every time I replied back to those who didn't respect me, I ended up drained. But when I stayed silent, letting their comments just pass by as white noise, I felt lighter, stronger, more in control. It felt like I was reclaiming a part of myself with each time I chose silence over reaction. So here's my challenge for you. The next time someone disrespects you, stop, take a deep breath, look them in the eye and say nothing. Let your silence speak. You might be surprised at how uncomfortable that makes them and how liberated it makes you. Consider silence your answer, because sometimes saying nothing is the loudest statement you can make. Solution number 3. Stop explaining your choices. Do you ever notice that every time you make a personal decision, there's always someone who wants to know why? Why did you choose that? Why didn't you go there? Why did you leave that stable job? It seems people feel entitled to why they should know the reason behind every decision you make. But here's the truth. You don't owe anyone an explanation about how you live your life. That choice is yours alone, and you don't need to justify it. Now, this may sound a bit against the grain, but let's be honest. When someone questions your decisions, they usually do not genuinely want to know, they want to judge. They want to pressure you into second-guessing yourself, or simply feel better about their own choices by making you second-guess yours. You don't owe them that. When you stop explaining yourself, you regain control. You show them your life isn't open for debate or evaluation. Why do people feel entitled to explanations in the first place? Well, often because your decisions challenge their worldview. Maybe you're taking risks they're too scared to try, or perhaps you're stepping outside of a comfort zone they find reassuring. But just because your independence makes them uncomfortable doesn't mean you need to ease that discomfort. Your life isn't a public service announcement. You don't owe anyone explanations for your choices. I remember when I decided to change careers, leaving a stable job to follow something I was passionate about, even though it reeked of greater risk. People reacted as if I announced I was moving to Mars. Everyone asked, why give up a stable job? At first I tried to explain about my passions and my plans, but the more I explained, the more people questioned and made me doubt myself. Then one day, when someone asked me, I simply replied because I want to, with no details, no explanation. And let me tell you, it felt amazing. The silence that followed was everything. People didn't know how to respond because I took away their right to question my choices. And you know what? Eventually, they stopped asking. This is the beauty of not explaining yourself. It sets you free. When you stand firm in your truth, knowing that your decisions are valid simply because you made them, you stop wasting energy on explanations, and you start putting that energy into truly living the life you want. There's a deeper lesson here. Your life does not need audience approval. Not every decision needs to be analyzed or approved by someone else, and when you stop explaining yourself, you're telling everyone, I'm confident enough in my choices that I don't need your approval. Think about it. When was the last time you saw someone truly confident breaking down their decisions for others? Probably never. Because those who master their own lives don't seek outside validation. They know the only approval that matters is their own. I've been there. I used to give everyone a whole PowerPoint on things I was doing, just to gain their support. But over time I realized, explaining to those who don't respect me only made me doubt my choices. So, I set a policy with myself. If someone asked me about a decision, I'd give a short answer, maybe 1 or 2 sentences, and if they pushed further, I'd smile and move on. And you know what? Life became a lot lighter. The more I stopped explaining, the more confident I became in my choices. So here's my challenge to you. Next time someone questions your choice, resist the urge to explain. Just say, because I want to, and let the silence speak for itself. Watch how powerful that simple statement can be. You'll feel stronger, more at peace with yourself, and you'll realize your choices don't need anyone else's approval. They hold value simply because you made them before we move on to the next solution. If you're owing the video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel with the bell so you don't miss out on future videos. And if you enjoy this kind of content as much as I do, comment, love this wisdom. Let's keep learning. Solution number 4, keep your distance. Have you ever felt that no matter what you do, some people just disregard your worth, your personal boundaries? Here's the hard truth. Not everyone deserves front row seats to your life. When someone continually disrespects you, one of the most healthy choices you can make is to keep your distance. This is not about being cold or ignoring others. It's about choosing where and how to spend your time and emotional investment. Think about your life like a private club with restricted access. Not everyone gets a VIP pass. If someone keeps crossing lines over and over again, making you feel exhausted or uneasy, then why keep them close? Creating distance gives you the clarity to see things as they are, unclouded by emotional manipulation or guilt. Think of it this way. When you let those who disrespect you stay in your orbit, You're inviting them to an emotional buffet where they can snide and judge and diminish you. And we wonder why we feel so drained and anxious and disappointed in ourselves. Giving yourself space from these people is an act of self-protection. It's about safeguarding your mental well-being, preserving your peace, and making room for those who genuinely respect and uplift you. I remember having a friend who never missed a chance to throw snide comments about my choices, my career, my relationships, even my taste in music. At first I told myself, maybe it was just their personality, maybe I was overreacting. I kept them close, trying to brush it off. It wasn't that big of a deal. But over time, those small remarks began to weigh on me. I realized I was walking on eggshells, bracing for the next round of criticism. Then one day, I tried something different. I didn't make a grand statement or confrontation. I just started spending time with them less. I'd meet up maybe once a month instead of weekly, and you know what? I felt lighter and freer. With that space, I was able to see how toxic the friendship was and realized I deserved friends who built me up instead of tearing me down. Some people might tell you that distancing yourself is selfish. They'll say, but they're family. You've known them for years. You might feel even guilty admitting that someone close to you isn't good for you. Society teaches us to be loyal, forgiving, and kind. But at what cost? Here's another little secret. Protecting your peace isn't selfish. It's necessary. You're not here to be anyone's emotional punching bag or a constant source of validation. Sometimes the best way to show someone you've had enough is simply to take a step back. Here's the deeper truth behind this. Distancing yourself is a powerful reminder that you are your own priority. You don't have to play the role others assign to you. You don't owe anyone access to your mind or your time or your emotions. When you put space between yourself and those who don't respect you, you make a declaration. Your well-being comes first, and it's not selfish. It's a powerful act of self-caring. It's not just about keeping negativity at bay, it's about creating space for growth. Think about it. The more time you spend with those who respect you, the more confident and fulfilled you feel. The less time with those who bring you down limits how much they affect your thoughts, mood, and entire life. I used to feel so guilty about distancing myself from people who weren't being kind to me, questioning if I was overreacting. But over time, I realized that creating distance isn't just about keeping negativity at bay, it's about creating space for yourself to grow. So here's your challenge. Think about the people in your life who continuously disrespect you, who make you feel small or drained, and ask yourself if they really deserve as much access to you as they currently have. Solution number 5. Hold your head high. Have you ever felt that someone was purposely trying to belittle you, as if they take enjoyment in shrinking you? In those moments, you might have heard that classic cliché advice, hold your head high. Now, this may sound simple, even cliché, but in reality, it's a powerful tool when dealing with people who have a lack of respect. When someone disrespects you, they are looking to see you lower yourself. They want you to bow your head, step back, but when you stand tall and hold your head high, you're sending a silent message that says, I know my value, and nothing you do will diminish it. The power of this gesture lies within confidence. Confidence can make others uncomfortable, especially those who habitually put others down. They rely on the idea that their words or actions can control you, can make you waver. But when you refuse to let their disrespect impact you, when you walk tall and self-assured, you show them that they don't hold that power. You are in control, and that throws them off balance, making them question their own power instead of yours. I remember once dealing with someone who seemed to pull pleasure from throwing digs my way every time we met. You know the type. Always smirking, always with a joke that felt more like an attack. At first I tried to brush it off, but honestly, it bothered me. Every time I was around them, I felt like I needed to put up a shield to protect myself. So then one day, I decided I was done feeling small. Excuse me. I walked into a room with my head high, and each time they made a snide remark, I just looked at them, smiled, and continued on as if nothing had just happened. The incredible thing was that they started to back off. They could sense that their words no longer reached me, that I had risen above it all, and their power began to wane. There's something magnetic about holding your head high. It creates an invisible wall. It's a psychological shield that only you can create. People who don't respect you tend to dislike because it disrupts their worldview. When they want to believe they can dominate you, they can somehow own a part of you. When you walk in confidence, you shatter their worldview, break down the negative narrative they have created. Sometimes that will make you a target, but remember, holding your head high is not for them, it's for you. It's an expression of self-respect, a way of living with confidence in your own worth without needing anyone else's approval. Holding your head high is also a profound message of self-respect. It says, "No matter what you say or do, I still know my value. My self-worth isn't something you gift me, it's something I gift to myself. I can walk through this life deserving respect, and nothing or no one can take that away from me." I used to be the type to bow my head, avoiding eye contact, shrinking myself to avoid being hurt when faced with criticism. But over time, I realized that every time I held my head high, every time I refused to let someone's negativity seep into my soul, I felt stronger. It was a reminder that my worth does not rely on anyone's approval. I can stand tall, proud of who I am. Holding your head high isn't just about physical posture, it's about mental posture too. When you walk into a room, do it as if you belong there. Don't shrink yourself to fit someone else's idea of who you should be. If someone throws a nasty comment your way, let it pass. They're not seeing the real you, they're just projecting their own insecurities onto you. So the next time you face disrespect, take a deep breath, straighten your shoulders, hold your head high, and look them in the eye as if to say, "Hey, I see you, but I'm above all this." You'll feel a surge of confidence and a sense of peace in knowing that their words have no power over you. Remember, respect starts with you. The more you respect yourself, the more room there is for others to treat you with respect too. Protect your peace and live life on your own terms. Thank you so much for watching. If you found something valuable in this video, please give it a like and subscribe for more content on taking control of your life and building the confidence to thrive. Don't forget to share this video with anyone who could use a reminder to stand strong. And hey, leave a comment below if you have a story about handling disrespect or setting boundaries. I'd love to hear it. Until next time, take care, stay strong, and remember, respect starts with you.